Welcome to another episode of Just Scrapping By, the YouTube channel where we find value in some of the most commonly thrown away electronics. In today's episode, we will be scrapping a DVD player manufactured by Diamond Vision to see what valuable components can be found within. The model of the DVD player is a DVDV807-4. It took us about half an hour to disassemble the device and another half an hour to depopulate the circuit boards. So let's get into the project. On the back of the device, there are 8 screws that we need to remove. After we remove these screws, the top cover on the device will slide off. Once we remove the top cover, we can see the DVD driver with motors, as well as a small circuit board which contains the transformer and the power board. There does not look like there is much here, but let's get this device depopulated so we can see what salvage we can obtain. This DVD player had a small assortment of electrolytic capacitors. Although each capacitor is worth less than $1 individually, they will bring in a combined salvage value of almost $20. We usually manage to salvage some sort of ceramic capacitors from whatever devices we are scrapping, but these 2 capacitors are a little different than the others. These are high-voltage ceramic capacitors and can handle more current compared to their counterparts. We will definitely hold onto these for a future project. There were 2 cheap film capacitors in the DVD player. Although these capacitors do not even equal 50 cents, they are extremely easy to remove and we will add them to our bulk bin of film capacitors. There was 1 transformer in the device used to step down the main voltage coming in to something smaller and more manageable. We are not sure what the winding ratio is on this transformer, but it will be great to use for a project. We removed 1 choke inductor from the DVD player. Although we do not use these very often in our own projects, they are worth placing up for auction on our website or scrapping for the copper found within. We found 1 small 1.1 mH Bobbin inductor. We thought there would be more in this device, but we should be happy we found at least 1. We found 4 diodes, as well as 1 light-emitting diode shown in another photo, in the DVD player. The SRS560 is a Schottky barrier diode, while the other IN4004 diodes are simple rectifier diodes. Although transistors are relatively cheap, they are also very useful. We will definitely find a use for these 4 transistors in another project. Resistors look like colored peanuts, and they are cheaper than peanuts. We have stopped removing resistors from circuit boards as they are cost-intensive to remove, but if a resistor falls out as the board is heated, we will still collect it and put it in our parts drawer. We found 1 lonely 2-amp fuse in our depopulation process today. We always keep spare fuses as replacements and this fuse will be no exception. We safely removed 4 micro buttons from the DVD player. These buttons are double pole, meaning that there are 2 contacts inside of the button which can be off or on depending on whether someone is pushing down on the button. Anybody working on electronic hobby projects has a love of motors. A motor is really the only component that can turn electrical energy into physical movement. These 3 motors are all variable speed 12-volt devices. We removed 2 blocks of ports from the DVD player. 1 block has 6 RCA ports in a plastic housing, while the other block is 1 single RCA port and an S-video port. There were 4 misfit components that we could not really place within a previously discussed category. There was a mode selection switch, a crystal oscillator, an IR receiver, and 1 light-emitting diode. These components will be going into our spare parts bin as we may have a use for them later. This may be the most valuable single component we removed from the DVD player. This is the laser diode assembly. This component can be used for repairing a DVD player or for building a doomsday device. Whatever someone repurposes this component for, it is worth almost $16 and worth selling. When we gather all of the components from the Diamond Vision DVD player and add them together, we can see a small assortment of parts which will give us a little under $65 in value. It took us about half an hour to take apart the DVD player, and another half an hour to depopulate the circuit boards. If we take the total salvage value of $64.57, which is the value of all of the components plus the scrappable metal and circuit boards, and we subtract the cost we incurred in acquiring the device as well as our labor, we have a maximum profit opportunity of $43.83 if every component were to sell. In order to break even on this scrapping project, we would need to sell a minimum of $20.74 in components. The question is, was scrapping this DVD player worth it? If you were to obtain the device for free, or for at least less than $15, you would make a profit. The device is easy to disassemble and the boards are easy to depopulate due to poor solder. Most of the components you can remove are not of very high value. There are not many components that are even in the device, and there is a very small amount of scrap metal you can find within. For the Diamond Vision DVD player, we give it a scrapping grade of a C+. Thank you for watching our video, and remember to subscribe to our channel to see more great tutorials on how to turn the old into gold.